it's Margot and Birdie back another day with this new puzzle. We've got piece number 6.
Puzzle number 6.
Puzzle number 6. And how many do we have puzzles in total? Isn't it 7 puzzles?
7 plus. I don't know if it's a finishing kit or if something like
that. A finishing pattern?
Pattern, yeah.
Okay, so we're making some more blocks again this month?
Yep, some more 9.5-inch blocks.
All right, so it looks like you used that other 4 patch. So we used one 4 patch in puzzle 5.
Yeah.
So we're using the other 4 patch in puzzle 6 and making the block, huh?
Yeah.
So what did you do first?
You had to cut 4 or 5 strips. I forget what the thing said of strips that are 5 3/8 inches.
5 3/8, so it's not quite 5 1/2.
Kind of weird, just under 5 1/2.
Just under 5
But
1/2.
if you cut it at 5 1/2, that just gives you more room when you're squaring things up. Either way. So, and then you make squares. So you're cutting your squares at the same length, and then you take your 4 patch
and you add.
Yeah, to opposite sides.
So you add 2 of those to one side.
Yeah. 2 there and there. And what I always do, I always take, and remember, it's the long side of the triangle. So I always take this and bring my tips together and pinch it so I get a good finger press. And that's right where I'm gonna put that on my seam.
Right, so you're right. Yeah. So you know you're right in the middle.
Right.
So you sew 2
there that way, and then come back.
Press.
I'll press it
and
up.
then sew the other sides. So you could actually chain piece this where you could pin these all up.
Sure.
And then chain all of this.
That's the
open
way
them
I
up,
do it.
Press, and then come back and pin the other ones, and then sew them up, and then press, so that you're not getting up and down to go to the iron as much.
And again, you're trimming it. Your final square should be 9.5 inches.
Okay, so this squares up. The block when it's done looks like this, and it squares up to 9.5 inches. So now we've got 3 blocks made.
Well, we did a pinwheel earlier, I think, too, that was already put together. I always forget about that one because it was done a while ago.
Way back in block 2 or something.
Something like that. 2
puzzle
or 4
2,
or something.
2.
Was it 2? Okay.
I think it was puzzle 2. Okay, so now there's one other block that we're going to complete. So in this particular block was the one where we needed the additional fabric that we didn't have. So we got all the additional fabric from Free Spirit and shipped it out to everyone. So everyone should have the fabric they need to be able to cut these.
And this is from puzzle 3. So technically this should have already been done, but I'm a little behind, but they're all cut pretty much. And so you're just going to sew these together and press the seam open.
But if you didn't have the fabric, you had to wait till you got the fabric first.
Right. So that's why you might be a little bit behind as well.
Yeah. So we had to wait for the fabric to do it. So we've cut one going one direction and one going the other. You're going to take those 2 pieces and sew them together to make one unit.
One unit, and then with that, and the other thing you do in puzzle 6 is you're cutting 4-inch squares. So you've got to cut, I think it's 4 strips of 4-inch squares.
Okay.
And you put these back.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You want this back? Okay.
Yeah, put one there.
So hold on. Let me put them back. We're going to put one here and one here, like they're sewn together.
Yeah, and then this.
And then once you get that sewn together,
you're going to
add this to it also on the shorter end. So this is 1/4 of a block.
Right, and then you sew 4 of them together, and look what you get.
So let me just lay that
and
right
what I
on
wanted
top.
what I wanted to tell you is sometimes isn't it pretty? Sometimes they tell you how to press your seams, like which direction. Like they'll tell you to press that open when you sew these together, to press it open. So I did, but they didn't tell me which way to press this. But if you want everything to nest together, press half of them towards the bottom of the triangle and the other half towards the tip. So when you piece it, everything nests together. And that helps a lot to keep it. And again, you trim that one up to 9.5 inches as well.
All right. So this is then considered the finished block. This kind of gives you a square in the center with a nice rotating access
pinwheel
on it.
Or something. Yeah, it's almost it's a half pinwheel or something. I love it. I think it's a pretty block.
So the 2 blocks that we're going to get here is this one and this one for puzzle 6. These aren't going to go right next to each other. Don't think that goes next to each other, because I'm just showing you for placement.
That's part of the mystery. We don't know where it's going to go.
We don't know where it's going yet either. That's exactly right. We don't know. So these are the 2 blocks you're going to get, and out of puzzle 6, again, press your seams outward on this as you sew these 2 sides. Then the opposite sides, press them outward. And these you're going to press so that you can see how it's best to nest the seams. So it looks like she pressed one way, one the other way, so that they nested right here in the center perfectly. as she sewed the two sides together. So you make this side of the block first and this side of the block first, and then you sew them together. So that looks like it's going to be pretty easy too.
I know. I love it.
And it's a beautiful block.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it too. So you should have gotten your fabric that you needed to make this block. It was the additional stuff that we sent out, and you should be ready to make block 6. And in 2 more weeks, we're going to get block 7.
Yep.
Okay, we'll be back to give you a show for block 7. Y'all have a great time sewing.
Have fun.